this was an incredibly productive week, and I wasn't even home for most of it. Cheers. Welcome back, everybody, to me doing the weekly navel-gazing, where I talk about all the stuff that I read last week, all the books I plan to read this week, all the videos I made last week, because I actually did make some, and all the videos I plan to maybe make this week, possibly even for like the further time beyond that, because, you know, stuff's crazy from time to time here, and then it all kind of descends into rambling, and sometimes I ask some leading questions and hope that you actually, you know, tell me what you want me to do in the comments. So, I don't know, stick around for that as well if you want to, you know, talk about stuff. So that's basically what we'll do today, and let's get started with all the readings. Well, I mean, I did read some books. I didn't read as many books as, you know, some other weeks, but that's just to be expected when you spend like 4 out of like 7 days in a week hanging out at a festival, carrying around boxes of equipment and shit like that. So yeah, that's sort of the preamble here. What did I read? I did finish Sacrifice of Fools by Ian MacDonald. I have not yet spoken about it, though. It's another great book, because, you know, Ian MacDonald can write good books, so that's that. And I did read The Sapling Cage by Margaret Killjoy, and I really enjoyed that one. A wonderful book. And I did reread, yet again, The State of the Art by Ian M. Banks, because, you know, you can't have too many Ians in one week, can you? So I'm, one Ian MacDonald, one Ian M. Banks, and that's it for last week, because, as I said, from Thursday onwards, I was helping friends at a heavy metal festival, and that, you know, kind of makes reading a bit more difficult. So, that being said, what am I planning to read this week, if I'm going to read books this week? Well, I'm going to read Polostan by Neil Stephenson. It came out on Thursday, but, you know, since I was busy, I didn't get to reading it yet. So I'm going to start this as soon as possible. And I'm excited because as a historical novel, I think it might work better than some of Stevenson's recent works like Termination Shock and Fall or Dodge in Hell, which I think were not as good as some of his, you know, older stuff. And I feel with a historical novel, it kind of gets reined in a bit more, and it doesn't, and that can help with the storytelling, I think. So I'm excited to find out how Polostan goes, and I'll probably let you know about it after that. Yeah, well, there's always more Ian MacDonald, and there's obviously also a lot of, like, Brandon Sanderson that I need to read. I've looked at books that come out in October. Yes, I know there's a new Alan Moore coming out. It's not available for pre-order in audio so far, at least not for me, so that one's off the table for me, at least for now. There is finally an audiobook version of The Innkeeper's Song by Peter S. Beagle, and I'm definitely going to read that one, or listen to that one when it comes out. And there's, of course, The Fury of the Gods by, John Gwynne, and since I'm really bad at finishing, at leaving a series that I have started unfinished, the only one where that has happened so far is, in fact, The Sword of Truth, and yeah, I'm not going to go down that road ever, unless there's some really, really important reason to doing so. That being said, yes, I will read The Fury of the Gods when it comes out. I don't expect to really, really liking it, or whatever, but, you know, closure is sometimes important. So that's down the road this month. For this week, it will be Polostan, and then probably just Ian MacDonald and Brandon Sanderson reading to kind of get my shit together. And this will be an ongoing theme for the next for the rest of the video, me trying to figure out what to do, because we are in the final, well, we'll be in the final quarter of the year tomorrow when October starts, because then, you know, it's only 3 months left, and that means if I had goals for this year, I'd better, you know, get my shit together to make sure I can have at least like a chance at getting it right? So that's something that we need to figure out. That being said, let's continue and talk about videos that I made. Because I did, in fact, get a lot of videos done last week. 4 of them, to be precise. A video for Scissors Cut Paper Wrap Stone by Ian MacDonald, which is a wonderful shorter novel / novella, and I talked about it in that ongoing series of me talking about all the Ian MacDonald's books I can get my hands on. And then I did finally make a video on the dark side of booktube discourse, yeah, I'm happy with how it came out. There's certainly stuff I could have, like, made even clearer or stronger cases or whatever, but I think in general I feel it did capture my issue with why I think some of the videos that have been put out recently on the topic kind of missed one major point that is more like the systemic aspect to this, and the idea that for some of us there is a level of sort of like systemic things that like where marginalization and stuff comes in that kind of keeps us from, or like makes coping with the dangers of booktube harder for us than it may for others, and that may be something we should sometimes, accept what people's experiences are, and I think I'm happy with how it turned out, so there's that. And then I did, of course, make 2 more videos, because, I tried real hard. Those videos are, of course, videos for both The Sapling Cage by Margaret Killjoy and The State of the Art by Ian M. Banks, which is now the least successful video I've made in a long time. Ian M. Banks beats Ian MacDonald in that regard. I am shocked by that somewhat, because I thought, the culture stuff should do well. It's, after all, a fairly well-known author. Ian M. Banks is a fairly well-known author, and the books are fairly, highly respected, at least in science fiction circles, so I thought it would do better. But you never know. There's all kinds of weird things that may have influenced that. Maybe no one cares about The State of the Art because it's a short story collection. Maybe just no one cares about science fiction at the moment. Maybe it was just like the wrong day. You never know with that kind of stuff. It can just, happen. So anyway, those are also out. I'm very happy with, once again, the Sapling Cage. I think the video is okay. I tried my best to talk about it and not make it all just about transgender things, because I'm not an expert in that regard, and I think there's enough other stuff out there that is also really important and helpful, and Anyway, it's a really good book. I hope you read it, and then, I don't know, maybe watch the video. So, those are the videos I made last week. I did, in fact, record 2 of them in, like, one go. I recorded the one on BookTube, the darker side of BookTube, on Wednesday evening, and then on Thursday morning I recorded 2 videos in one go, and then had them all rendered, so I can sort of, like, just publish them from where I am, from the festival by my phone, on my phone, which is much easier to do when it's already uploaded and stuff. So yeah, I prepared for once. It's shocking, I know. It's really, really, really shocking. So what am I planning to do this week? Well, I'm kind of facing the same problem that I had last week, which is this is going to be a really short week. I will be going to Keep It Rising on Thursday. So, once again, anything I record this week will have to be up, at least be recorded before I leave on Thursday. But that means it's like basically 2 videos I could make or will try to make this week. Those will be, of course, on Sacrifice of Fools by Ian MacDonald, because it's the next one. Well, technically, Chaga is first in publication order, but since Chaga and Kirinya are 2 parts of the same series, and Sacrifice of Fools is sort of sandwiched between those 2, I wanted to take Sacrifice of Fools first, because at the end of the day, what I want to do is, read those 2 books basically in one go without an interruption, which is just like how I prefer to read series. I prefer to binge read a series if I can, just so I don't forget all the stuff that is happening in those books. So that's why I decided to take Sacrifice of Fools first, so I can make a video on that one, because I've already read the book, so I think I should be able to do that as soon as I can remember or learn how to pronounce the lady cop's name, because holy shit, Irish is not an easy language. So there we are. And then there will, of course, be a video for Pollystone, because, it's a new Neil Stephenson novel. I am, for better or for worse, I guess, a fan of Neil Stephenson's writing. I've read everything since Snow Crash. So, yeah, this will happen whether Beyond that, I don't know if I have time to record more. There is still other stuff that I'm interested in talking about. Once again, with having to go to the, working out there in the actual physical world, interacting with humans and so forth, is one of those things that drives home all the sort of like other aspects of living a life with a disability in a world that is not necessarily made for people with disabilities. And then there's this ongoing thing basically that I've wanted to talk about for a long time now, and kind of always push back because I need to be in the right mindset or like frame of mind, I guess, to talk about it without it becoming too whiny or anything of the sort, but also be able to sort of like explain what I mean, where I think there are sort of like issues that we often like ignore or misunderstand when it comes to any form of marginalization, really, actually. So that's something maybe I'll be able to do that. That will be, I guess, helpful. And then, yeah, who knows? See, the part that I didn't tell you is like, yes, I'm going to keep it rising from Thursday to Saturday. And on Sunday night, Monday morning, 1 a.m. or whatever, I'll take a bus to go to a conference in Łódź in Poland, and I'll be there for the next week. So anything I don't record until, say, Thursday, there's very little chance of me being able to record it afterwards. I mean, maybe if I get back from Keep It Rising quickly enough, I can maybe record a Navel-Gazing video for next week already. That's possible, but maybe not likely. So we'll have to see how all of that goes, right? So yeah, I don't know what happens next week. And this is, I think, the head warning for you is like, I can probably, I mean, if I manage to record like 3 videos this week, I can probably stretch them out and have like one of them be out next week and so forth. So you get something over time. But yeah, who knows? The other part is, of course, that just simply because, you know, reading books takes time, that say, it's unlikely that I'll manage to read 2 books until, say, basically Wednesday night or whatever, to then make like another book discussion video. Something as I say, like I can do Sacrifice of Fools probably, and I can do Polostan, because Polostan is not a very long novel, which is surprising for Neil Stephenson. So there's that. I can do those 2 until like Thursday definitely, and I can probably do a video on the whole, you know, as I say, like the things like on marginalization and disability or whatever. Those videos are relatively easy to make for me because they don't require me to read like another like 500 pages. I can just, like, if I'm able to sort of like jot down notes on what I want, I can do that quickly. Which means there's maybe another video that I could potentially do. Just potentially, and just like throw this out there. Recently, when I was at the festival, which is why I couldn't like fully engage on the Fireside Discord, there was a conversation about and Jerome brought this up, who's also a commenter here, and I'm very happy to have him here. I asked the question about, you know, the ethics of sponsorships for booktubers and advertisements and all these different ways for booktubers to make money, and I certainly have a lot of thoughts on that whole subject in a lot of ways, but, you know, being at a festival and having to carry around shit and you know, all the other festival stuff didn't exactly lead to me writing long monologues on Discord, because typing on a phone kind of really sucks in a lot of ways, especially when you're blind. So I could probably make a video on that whole subject of like the ethics, or like where I think issues with monetization, whether through ads, through Patreon, or through actual sponsorship deals, where they lie and how they kind of combine. That's something I could probably talk about, if that's something you're interested in. Now, if you go like, well, we don't care because either we're, you know, we'll support you on Patreon no matter what you do, or if you go like, well, I use an ad blocker, so whatever. Like, if that's not something you're interested in, then I don't have to talk about it, right? So my question here is, farming some engagement, a call to action, so to speak. Would you like me to talk about that? Because in that case, I would have to sort of like maybe try to make some bullet points on like how to record that video, and I could probably do that, and then we can figure out how to spread them out over the next 2 weeks, which is of course the other part. As I said, 3 months left. I need to sort of figure out what to do. The problem is, of course, that with basically being away from like YouTube for the next 1.5 weeks, once I leave for the festival and stuff, means that all the plans I make right now will have to wait until I come back for me to actually pursue them in like any meaningful way. So the question there is, can I actually do that? And I'm in this weird sort of like holding pattern or limbo or whatever you want to call it, and I don't know what to do there, because yes, I need to do the Mormonism thing and then talk about Brandon Sanderson. I promised that. I will do that. I need to finish a goddamn conspiracy fiction video. I really need to do that. Those will have to wait until I come back, though, because I can't film them quickly enough. I mean, I could probably start working on the Mormonism thing if I am, you know, if I have some peace of mind over the next couple of days, because that first video, I guess I already did like most of the reading back in January or February or whatever. So I just need to sort of refresh my memory and then get that thing out. But beyond that, the Sanderson thing will have to wait. I could probably read some Sanderson novels or reread some Sanderson novels during my travels, because once again, I've read the first Mistborn trilogy already, so I can just like do that again, I guess. But who knows? So as I said, it's all just like a really weird time right now where I'm kind of lost in what will happen next, and add to that, of course, the general problem that I'll be traveling and interacting with a lot of people once again out in the physical world, and that comes at a cost, both for people with ADHD, but also for people with like physical disability like blindness, and just like being generally weird and awkward and whatever I also am. Right, these things take a toll on me in ways that maybe not everyone else is impacted by. Traveling, talking to people, having to navigate like very big, populated spaces, concert venues or whatever. That stuff's like costs me like actual physical and mental energy in a way that is sometimes a bit hard. I have, of course, sort of like doomed myself into these things because I decided to go to the festival, all of that stuff. But like on the other hand, I want to see a final Cirith Ungol show before they actually end their careers. So. What can I do? It's that kind of thing, right? So that's sort of where I am right now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you did last week. If you have general other thoughts and so forth, I'm always willing to hear them out. And I hope you had a good week. Hopefully not as stressful as mine. And I hope you keep having great time and good reading and all the good bits in this week, and I don't know, I'll talk to you hopefully about some stuff in the coming days, and once I figure out what will happen, I can probably just like write an update on the community tab to let you know if I manage to do more videos and whatnot, because communication is clearly something that is important, or so I've heard by what can you do. Anyway, thanks for actually sticking with me. Thanks for the really insightful comments on the video on the Dark Side of BookTube. I really appreciate all of that. Sorry it took me so long to reply, but yeah, I just came back at like 9 p.m. yesterday, so I didn't actually do anything until today. So there's that. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. I'll see you very, very soon, hopefully. And until then, well, thanks and cheers.